Welcome back. Music coming up from Stan, Tracy and the Dostovevskys as well. But Horse have joined me over this side of the studio. Welcome over here. Yeah. Nice and quiet, or maybe not, as the case may be. We asked people to join in, and you've gallantly agreed to do it. What song are we going to sing?
This is a song called Wichita Lineman, and it was originally done by Glenn Campbell, and Jim Webb wrote it. It's one of our faves.
OK, one of mine too. George, take it away.
And I drive the main road, searching in the sun for another overload. Hear you whisper in the wire, I see you singing on the line, and the Wichita lineman is still on the line.
But it doesn't look like rain, and if it snows, that stretch down south won't ever stand the strain. And I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita lineman is still on the line. You for all time, and the Wichita lineman is still on the line, still on the line. Oh, please don't go. Oh, please don't go. Oh, please don't go. Oh, please don't go. But it doesn't look like rain. Oh, please don't go.
Horse!
Now, some people really have to fight hard for what they believe in to actually carve out a niche for themselves. Stan Tracy's one such man. He's been doing it for the last 40 years. Congratulations on the Mercury Award nomination.
Oh, thank you.
At 66, it's a bit late to become an overnight sensation, isn't it?
I guess it is, yeah.
So when did you start? Because I get the feeling that maybe the stalk went to the wrong place. You should have been in Chicago or New York or maybe New Orleans. Where were you born?
I'm glad it went where it went.
Where did it go to?
It went to Denmark Hill in South London.
Yeah. I mean, what sort of music was around then? I mean, you couldn't go down to the local bar and hang out and hear all the guys playing in the joint, could you?
No, actually, I was a bit starved of music. My father wouldn't buy a radio for some unknown reason. And I lived in a house where there were people living upstairs. And I used to sit on the stairs and listen to the bands of the day, people like Oscar Rabin, Harry Roy. And really, that was my introduction. There was a piano, and it was totally impossible. It really was. So I started on accordion.
Accordion?
Yeah, at least it was in tune.
Right. And what sort of things would you play on the accordion then?
Oh, Souvenir du Crane.
Because this isn't what people expect, is it? Of
No.
Stan Tracy.
Well, I don't
play
know
the
what they
accordion.
expect, actually. If you ask a lot of guys how they started, you'd be surprised at the things they did.
Because you wrote probably the piece that's most familiar with people associated with Stan Tracy, based on a piece by Dylan Thomas and Milk Wood.
That's right.
I can't understand why a lad from London wanted to write it.
It was simply because I had an album to make, and they needed a hook. In those days, you had to have a hook. And I'd been listening to the recording that Dylan did in New York, and I was totally bowled over by it, and it seemed very natural to write the music for that.
I've got the feeling that you don't actually carry these tunes around with you. That
No,
they're like baggage you've left in different
Yeah,
places.
well, 1964.
Do you remember any of it?
Yeah, I can remember.
You to?
I remember a little bit of the title piece.
You've been commissioned to write a piece for Swansea for 1995.
Yes, Jen Wilson, who's based in Swansea.
Oh, the National Women's Jazz Archive.
That's correct.
I know the lady
yes.
well.
Yeah, she wants me to write a suite based on Swansea.
And
So-
how do you do it then? I mean, do you have to walk around it, smell it, feel it?
No,
see
I've
it?
smelt Swansea. No, she sent me a whole load of books about Swansea and, you know, things that happened there and little streets and things that have disappeared and things like that. And that's the sort of thing I want, because I can get titles from those situations and sort of base the music on the title.
Well, you must be used to it, I suppose, with the Dylan Thomas and the Milk Wood. At least you know the sounds of the voices, at least.
Yes.
Well, it's been great meeting you. Perhaps we could end with another piece of music. Anything that comes to mind?
Yes, I'd like to play somebody else's tune, I think. Willow Weep for me.
Stan Tracy, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Stan Tracy. Time for some new music from Wales now. Will you please welcome the Dostovevskys?
With joy I will expound. Ocean of misanthropy, I almost came to drown. But my suffering is gone, its memory lingers on. But now I'm free, once my soul was bound. And the cold wind has blown away our dead skin. And the cold wind has rid me of my sin. And like the currents of the sea and like the branches of a tree, I don't need you, and you don't need me. We should have known this from the start. We were victims of our hearts, meant to stick together till it come apart. And the cold wind has kissed me on the lips, and the cold wind has stabbed me with its fingertips. She went away, it's a
Playing live, Wayne from the Dostovevskys. Okay, well, we've had Irish bands on the programme, we've had Scottish bands tonight as well, but it's nice to have music from Wales. Where are you based?
We're based in Cardiff, from here.
And where are you from? Yeah, right.
Hurrah!
So, which part of Cardiff are you from?
I'm from Manchester, the Manchester part of Cardiff. But we live here, we moved.
Yeah, well, what attracted you to Cardiff? I mean, it's a lovely city and all that, but why come to Cardiff to launch your music career?
It was almost an accident, really. We sort of came here accidentally, but it's nice to be here now. It's a good place to play music from.
But what about launching yourself to the world? I mean, London, I suppose, is a couple of hours away, but there's a whole world outside of London, isn't there?
Well, I suppose so. We play quite a lot in Europe, which is a bit further away than London again, but it's nice to be in Cardiff. It's not so far from anywhere.
Germany, they tell me you do quite well.
We do. We play there quite often, yeah.
So how do you get there? Is it a plane trip?
We go in our van. It's a rather sad story. It's like a 25-hour drive with 5 sweaty people. It's a bit sad, really.
And the music itself, I mean, it's got a Celtic air to it. Do you feel you've got things in common with the Irish and with the Scots?
I think we steal from a number of identities. We have bits of Russian tunes even from indie music or rock music or pop music. We sort of take a bit from everywhere and sort of...
Well, you're playing all over the place. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dostovevskys!
Time for a break again. We're going to be back with music from you and Tony Williams from Bryn Mawr. See you in a couple of minutes.